Hello, and Happy New Year from your friends at the Financial Advisory Group. We just wanted to send out a video to give you a little update on us as a firm and how we're operating in 2021, and also some of our thoughts on the market and where we stand today. First, on the firm, as of now, Brad, Diana, myself, and Mary are coming into the office on a daily basis. It's nice to have 4 of us in here almost every day. Luckily for us as well, we've been able to have Sharon and Kathy start getting back into more of a normal routine and now are coming into the office on an every other day basis. The other days they still work remotely, but at least we're getting that little bit closer back to that normalcy we're all looking for. On more exciting news, the firm has hired our 7th employee, Jake Fry. Jake started with us back on January 1st, and instead of me doing an introduction on Jake, I'll turn it over to Jake now to tell you a little bit about himself. Welcome to the team, Jake.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jake Fry, the newest addition to the team here at the Financial Advisory Group. To give you a little bit of a background on me, I have my bachelor's degree in business and economics from Ursinus College, as well as my master's of business administration from York College. I'm a local boy who grew up in Lancaster County, and my wife is actually from Shrewsbury, so not too far away. In my free time, I enjoy spending time with my wife, as well as hiking, biking, fishing, generally spending time outdoors and tinkering with cars. I'm really excited to join the team here, and I look forward to getting to know you. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Jake, and welcome to the team. We feel really good where we are as a firm right now, with both Jake and Mary on board, that we can continue to help families looking even generations ahead. So thanks and welcome to Jake. On to our thoughts on things moving forward. Boy, you could use any adjective to describe the last 12 months we've all been through on both a financial level and a personal level. It's been probably the craziest 12 months any of us could have imagined, and I'm not sure any of us have lived through 12 months like this before. If it's taught us anything, it's taught us to make sure we're focusing on the right things and to focus on what the market really cares about. And a lot of times, that's not the stuff that we care about and look at on a daily basis. So as I get into my slides here, we're going to steal a little line from Sesame Street here. And what today's presentation is going to be brought to you by, today's presentation and thoughts are brought to you by the letter K. If you've heard this comparison before, 2020 and really 2021 has been defined by the letter K, both economically and from a market perspective. There are lots of people who really actually benefited from what's gone on in the last 12 months. And the fact that you have markets at all-time highs, you have some people who, because of COVID, haven't been able to travel and do as much, so they actually have accumulated more cash. At the same time, you have the bottom part of the K, which is people who work in the travel and leisure industry. Think about someone who works at a restaurant who's been completely left behind. So this market has really had 2 totally different impacts on people and the investments that have worked out. As we look at the letter K, a couple months ago, we put out a movie or a video, and it talked about new school versus old school. We talked about in March and April how the new school companies were really going to thrive in this COVID world. It was the idea of working from home. It was the idea of using PayPal instead of going to a bank, watching a movie on Netflix instead of going to a movie theater, using Zoom to meet with clients as opposed to coming into an office, and so on and so on. Well, as we look forward to 2021, we hope and think that some of this is going to change. That in 2021, it may seem strange, but we may head back to that old school a little bit more. As the vaccine gets rolled out and we feel a little bit more comfortable with things, we might be a little bit more comfortable a year from now going to a movie theater as opposed to watching something on Netflix, or actually going out to that gym instead of jumping on that new Peloton bike we all bought. So we really like this letter K that has really summarized 2020, and we'd almost look that 2021 has the potential to flip this K upside down, that you'll see the old school companies maybe do better as we get further into this year. The reason we think that as we look forward is one of the strange impacts of 2020 is that the savings rate in this country actually jumped dramatically. This chart here shows you that historically the savings rate in this country has stayed around 5, 6, 7%. All of a sudden, March and April hit, and our savings rate actually jumped to above 30% for the first time in our government's history. Think about that. That's crazy. Still to this day, as of the latest numbers we have, the savings rate is still at 13%. If you think about it, it makes sense. It's hard to spend money on things we used to spend it on, whether that's going out to eat or travel. So some of this isn't necessarily that we're deciding to save money. We're saving money because some of us can't spend on the things we want to. Well, by having a higher savings rate, what has that led to? This chart here shows the amount of saving deposits on hold at banks. But what you can see as we look at this chart is it was steadily growing until we hit the beginning of 2020. All of a sudden, COVID hits, and you can see the savings on hand at financial institutions has skyrocketed. So you can see the savings rate is up, as well as the fact that the amount of cash held at banks is up. Now, you might be saying, Damien, what does this have to do with us looking forward? One last thing we'll add to that is I'm sure you've seen that mortgage rates have come down dramatically. We have clients and friends of clients and kids of clients refinancing mortgages below 3% levels for 30 years. That is unbelievable. At that rate, that means people can pay less towards their mortgage and then have more money to spend on other things. Well, if we put all of this together, what does that tell us? What that tells us is as we look forward, this is not your normal economic recovery. Normally, when you're in a recession, we don't go out to eat because we don't have the money to, or we're afraid to go out to eat because financially we have concerns. In this scenario, we're not going out to eat because we don't feel comfortable doing it from a health perspective, or the restaurants just aren't open. As we look forward, though, and as that confidence starts to build, and as the vaccine continues to get rolled out, one common theme we have in every meeting we talk to someone today is a pent-up demand to do something. As we were on a call with a client earlier this week, we talked about how we all want to go out to a restaurant. And as he put it, not only does he want to go to a restaurant, but he wants to order one of everything on the menu. I think we all can have that same type of feeling that we can't wait to travel, we can't wait to go out to eat. So as we move further into this year, we really see the year being a very different year than 2020. And restaurants that are now figuring out how do we even stay open might end the year thinking, how do we handle the amount of demand we have of people wanting to come eat at a restaurant? So this pent-up demand at some point may give us an economy that starts chugging along as we get further and further along into 2021. Well, that means that might be better news for small businesses that have struggled mightily during the last 9 to 12 months. So our thought as we move forward, and you'll see some of these changes happening in the portfolio, is to reverse some of what we did in 2020. That instead of focusing and owning more and more of these large mega companies like Facebook, like Amazon, like Netflix, like Zoom that have done so well, we want to start buying into these smaller companies that have struggled through the last 9 to 12 months, but as we look forward, we think have some opportunity in front of them, because as this pent-up demand gets unleashed, and as we feel more comfortable, we can see a lot of us have the cash to do things, and once we have the ability to do it, I think we'll all be traveling again soon and hopefully out eating at restaurants. Not tomorrow, but hopefully when we look forward the next 6 to 12 months. And as we talked about last year, we want to plant some trees, and you don't wait until the weather's perfect to plant a tree. You plant the trees a little bit early, and as the weather gets better, that's when you see the benefits of the planting. So thank you very much. We do look forward to a good year ahead. Oh, on another note, before I forget, we have had a lot of questions come in about, well, what about the new administration? What about the tax policy we've heard about? What about other changes that the administration may make? Well, if we learned anything from 2020, it should be to really pay attention to the right things. So sure, there could be some changes with the new administration coming in. There could be some news and there could be some volatile times ahead. But like we said in 2020, and like we've said many years before, that yes, it might get noisy, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to put my headphones on. Make it a great year, everyone, and we look forward to seeing you soon.